Hello everyone, I am Nishu and I am going to discuss today about the testes from the male reproductive system, chapter number 3, human reproduction. Now in the last video, we have discussed about all the parts of male reproductive system, and I told you all that the main primary sex organ of the male reproductive system is testis, and that same testis we are going to discuss today in this part of the video. Testis is present in males in pair. There are one pair of testes present inside the male reproductive system. I told you all that the testis is located in the extra-abdominal cavity in a bag-like structure, in a pocket-like structure called as scrotum. So we are going to discuss the same testis today in this part. So on board you can see that I have written testis. It is a primary sex organ in man. We have discussed this before. Then it's written that testis develop in the abdominal cavity during the 7 months of the fetal development, and they descend into the scrotum through inguinal canals. Now this is the part which I discussed in the last video. I told that testis from beginning is not in the extra-abdominal cavity. The location of testis is inside the scrotum, which is an extra-abdominal part. But when the fetal development is taking place inside the body of a child, inside the body of the fetus in the mother's womb, during that developmental period, in the month of 7th, during the 7th month of pregnancy, the child from the fetus, this testis, they descends down into the scrotum. Now what do you mean by descent? Descent means to slip down from intra-abdominal cavity to the extra-abdominal cavity. The testis till the 6th month of the developmental period of a fetus inside the mother's womb is located inside the body in the intra-abdominal cavity. But during the 7th month of the development, this testis, it slips down, it migrates down from the intra-abdominal into the extra-abdominal cavity called as scrotum. Now, this is very necessary. Why this descendant is taking place? Why this migration from the intra to the extra-abdominal is taking place? We discussed before also that your testis is responsible for the formation, for the production of sperms. And sperm needs a very low temperature for its development. It needs about 2 to 2.5 degrees centigrade to develop inside the body. Now, the internal body temperature of a human being is 32 to 35 degrees centigrade. That temperature is too high for the development, and at that temperature, the development of sperm will not take place. So, for the development, so the sperms can be produced in a proper manner during the 7th month of the fetal development period. This testis from the intra-abdominal cavity shifts down, descends down, or we can say it migrates into the extra-abdominal cavity. Now, I have written here that testis is oval in shape with a length of about 4 to 5 centimeter in length and 2 to 3 centimeter in width. In the diagram, here I'll be explaining here along with the diagram. But what does it mean? By the writing only you can understand that testis is oval in shape. The length of the testis is 4 to 5 centimeter and the width of the testis is 2 to 3 centimeter. The next point I have written that spermatic cord is present. Before I move to the spermatic cord, there are various parts which are very necessary to be explained. Now whatever points we have just discussed written on the board, I'll be explaining here along with the diagram. Now you can see that I have drawn this cavity-like structure. This cavity-like structure is called as scrotum. Bag-like structure is called as scrotum. Now this scrotum is divided in between. There are two pockets over here. One pocket is holding one of the testes and the second pocket is holding the second of the testes. So in between there is a partition, and this partition is called as scrotum septum. Septum means partition, separation, wall in between. So the wall in between the two testes of the scrotum is called as scrotum septum. Now in each scrotum your testis is located. These are a pair of testes which is located here. Now you can see that I have drawn this. This is oval in shape. Testis is oval in shape. Now the length of the testis is 4 to 5 centimeter long, and the breadth of the testis is 2 to 3 centimeter in width. The main thing which was very necessary for us to understand, that what was spermatic cord. You can see I have drawn here, this is the spermatic cord, and this spermatic cord still persists in the body of the males. I told that during the 7th month of fetal development, this testis descends down into the scrotum from intra-abdominal cavity to the extra-abdominal cavity, and this your spermatic cord still persists. It was persisting at that time also, and till today, after descendment also, this spermatic cord is persisting. Now what is the function of this spermatic cord? The function of the spermatic cord is, it is a connective point. You can see I have connected the testis along with this. And this spermatic cord passing through the inguinal canal is connected inside the body of the males in the intra-abdominal cavity. I will repeat again. Spermatic cord is connected with the testis, and it is passing out through the inguinal canal of extra-abdominal cavity into the intra-abdominal cavity. Now what is the role of this? Why it is still present? What is the function of the spermatic cord? Now within this spermatic cord, gonadal artery is present, gonadal vein is present, different nerves are present, lymphatic limbs are present. These vast differences over there. So these are the very important parts of the male reproductive system which are allowing it to work, which are allowing it, the testis, to function. If the blood circulations are not there, if the oxygenated blood, if the pure blood is not coming or the impure things are not going out, then from where the testis or the other functions, organs inside, other parts inside the testis will work. So that is why there is a connectivity with the spermatic cord. Artery, gonadal vein, lymph, nerves, to keep it function is very important. So your spermatic cord still persists inside the body, inside the scrotum part, which is connecting testis from the extra-abdominal cavity to the intra-abdominal cavity. So this was very important to understand, that what was your spermatic cord. So here your spermatic cord is present. So spermatic cord comprises of vas deferens, gonadal vein, gonadal artery, nerves and lymphatics. So these are the points which are very necessary to understand in case of testis. First was that testis is a primary sex organ in the males. Testis is oval in shape. The length of the testis is 4 to 5 centimeter. The width of the testis is 2 to 3 centimeter. spermatic cord is present. This spermatic cord is comprising of gonadal vein, gonadal artery, nerves, limbs, which is a connective from the intra-abdominal to the extra-abdominal cavity within the scrotum, and this testis is descendant from the intra-abdominal to the extra-abdominal during the 7th month of fetal development. Children, we have discussed that during the 7th month of the fetal development, your testis migrates into the scrotum from intra-abdominal cavity into the intra-abdominal cavity. Now, if suppose this descendment does not take place, if suppose what will happen if this migration is not taking place? Such conditions also sometimes occurs. So when the testis do not descend to reach the scrotum from abdominal cavity and remains in the abdomen itself, this condition is called cryptorchidism. Now, if the testis from the abdomen is not migrating, is not descending, is not slipping down into the scrotum during the 7th month of fetal development, then the condition is then the condition occurs which is called as cryptorchidism. Now this condition can be cured also, this conditions can be improved also by a surgical process. This undescendant testis from the abdomen, by applying surgical process, can be brought into the scrotum, and this process is called as orchiopexy. I'll repeat both the terms again, cryptorchidism and orchiopexy. Cryptorchidism is a condition when during the 7th month of the fetal development, this testis do not descend into the scrotum from intra-abdominal cavity into the extra-abdominal cavity. This term or this process is called as cryptorchidism. Here your sperm production capability comes into failure because your temperature inside the scrotum is very less and the temperature internal body is very high. And we know that inside the scrotum, your testis will develop, and inside the testis, your sperm production will take place. So when your when your testis is inside the abdominal, then seminiferous tubules will not be able to produce sperms, and that conditions will be coming, and the condition is called as cryptorchidism. So when it is not descending down, when it is not moving down, it is cryptorchidism. So this condition can be cured by a surgical process called as orchiopexy. By applying a surgical process, the scrotum is brought from the internal abdomen into the scrotum, into the external abdominal cavity. So this surgical process is called as orchiopexy. Now moving ahead with the structure of testis, we have to understand, or we have to know, that what are the coverings of the testis. Like all the organs, our testis present in the male reproductive system is also protected by various layers of walls, by various layers of coverings. So in testis there are 3 coverings present: outer covering, middle covering and inner covering. So all these 3 coverings are having 3 different names also. So tunica is a word given for the testis, and what are the walls named now? The outermost wall of the testis is called as tunica vaginalis. It is the outermost wall of the testis. The middle layer, the middle covering of the testis is tunica albuginea. And the innermost layer of the testis is tunica vascularis. Vasculosa is also it is known as. So tunica vaginalis, tunica albuginea and tunica vascularis, these are the 3 coverings of the testis which are protecting the internal parts of the testis. like your seminiferous tubules are there, reti testis is there. So all these parts are very nicely protected by these three layers of walls. Vascularis is the innermost part of the cell, of the testis. So these were the three walls, three coverings of the testis. Now within the testis, there are about 250 small compartments, small chambers, and these 250 small chambers approximately each testis is having. So those small chambers are called as testicular lobules. We will be moving little later to the testicular lobules and the internal part what is located, but it's very important to understand these three layers diagrammatically very nicely so that the coverings, the protection, that how the testis is meant, you will be clear to you all. Children, now see the diagram and of testis having three coverings. So you can see here this part. I will be explaining now only this part of the testis. Remaining part in the later part, later time. Now this we have to understand that how the three coverings are protecting the internal part of the testis. This is the internal part of testis and this is the outer part. So how it is protected. Now you can see I have written tunica vaginalis, tunica albuginea and tunica vascularis. Tunica vaginalis is the outermost layer. This is the outer layer. Tunica albuginea is the middle layer and tunica vascularis is the inner layer. These are the three walls. Now tunica vaginalis, the outermost layer, you can see I have written three more names over here. This much portion, from here to here, this much portion of the covering of the wall is called as tunica vaginalis. The outer wall, only this much. This portion is called as tunica vaginalis. And tunica vaginalis is also having three layers in them. If you can see in the diagram, this outer wall is called as parietal layer. You know the meaning of parietal. Parietal means periphery, boundary. So the outer boundary, the outermost boundary of the testis, the outermost boundary of the tunica vaginalis is called as parietal layer. Now, after parietal layer, you can see that I have drawn a cavity over here. A cavity is there. So this cavity is called as cavity layer. It is the cavity which is present in between the parietal and the inner part. Now the third wall, you can see over here, this part, this black lining, this black lining. So this lining is called as visceral layer. Visceral means which is very near to the internal part of the testis. Visceral means which is very near to the organs. So this is a wall which is very near to the internal part of the testis. So that is why the innermost part is visceral layer. So there are three layers which are comprising tunica vaginalis. Tunica vaginalis is the outermost layer of the testis. And this tunica vaginalis is made up of three layers. The outermost layer of tunica vaginalis is parietal layer. In between there is a cavity and this parietal layer is separating, and this cavity is separating the parietal layer and the inner wall of tunica vaginalis called as visceral layer. So you can say that tunica vaginalis is made up of parietal layer, cavity and your visceral layer. So this was about tunica vaginalis, which is the outermost layer of testis. Now we are moving inside, inward. When we are moving inward, you can see that this vacant space over here, this empty space is called as tunica albuginea, which is the middle layer middle covering of the testis. So this space is your tunica albuginea. Now, I told you that within the testis, about 250 small compartments are present. Now, you can see that I have drawn here this black color, small structures. These small tubes are called as testicular lobules. This is a testicular lobules. Now you see that this testicular lobule is also lined up by a wall. I have drawn with blue color. So this testicular lobule is getting lined up with a blue color lining I have drawn here. This lining, this is the innermost wall, inner covering of the testis called as tunica vascularis or tunica vasculosa. This is the innermost layer. So I hope this much is clear to you all that testis is made up of 3 walls, and the outermost wall is tunica vaginalis, which is made up of parietal and then cavity, then visceral. Then your middle layer is tunica albuginea, and then your innermost layer, which is lined up, which has been shown by blue line, it is your tunica vascularis. These are the 3 walls which are here. Now in further diagrams, more will be explained. More parts will be explaining slowly, gradually we will be moving. Now children, moving ahead with the same topic. Here we will be coming across with the new few terms. Now what are those terms? They are testicular lobules, seminiferous tubules, mediastinal testis, reti testis, and vasa effrencia. These are the new terms which we will be understanding in this part through this diagram. Now we have studied just now that your testis is protected by 3 coverings, 3 walls. Now we are moving inside those walls. We are moving inside. So testis is made up of about approx 250 small compartments. And these small 250 small compartments are called as testicular lobules. Now I am talking about each testis, and your male reproductive system is having a pair of testes. So pair of testes, it means that 500 of testicular lobules are present. If we consider one testis having 250 of testicular lobules, so the another one will be having 250 testicular lobules. It means 500 testicular lobules are present inside the male reproductive system. It is approx 250. It may be up to 300 also. The numbers of testicular lobules may increase up to 300. It is in between 250 to 300. But in your textbooks, it is mentioned, it is 250 small compartments. So each testis is comprising 250 small compartments, and these 250 small compartments are called as testicular lobules. Now we will be moving inside the testicular lobule. Inside the testicular lobule, your seminiferous tubules are present. We have discussed testicular lobule. Now inside testicular lobule, seminiferous tubules are present. Now what are seminiferous tubules? Seminiferous tubules are a coiled tube-like structure which is located inside the testicular lobule, and each testicular lobule is comprising of 2 to 3 seminiferous tubules. Diagrammatically, we will be understanding it now only. So, within the testicular lobule, each testicular lobule, again remember it, each testis is having 250 small compartments called as testicular lobule. And each testicular lobule is comprising of 2 to 3 seminiferous tubules. Now suppose if we are talking about 2 testes, a pair of testes, and this pair of testes is having 500 of testicular lobules, and if each testicular lobule is having Suppose it is having 3. So if it is having 3 seminiferous tubules, so what will be the number? What will be the number of seminiferous tubules present in the testis? So 250 multiplied by 3 is 750. So 750 seminiferous tubules are present within the testis of a male reproductive system. It was asked in the competitive exams also. So what is happening here, that within the testicular lobule your seminiferous tubules are present. What is seminiferous tubule? Seminiferous tubules is a coiled tube-like structure which is called as seminiferous tubules. What is this seminiferous tubule for over there? The seminiferous tubules are responsible for the production of sperms. Here, this is the tube where your sperms are produced. So, inside testicular lobule, 2 to 3 seminiferous tubules are there, and within each seminiferous tubule, sperms are being produced. Now, all these seminiferous tubules, when they come out from the testicular lobule, they group at a place. They group at a position, and that position of the testis is the central part, is the middle part. And that central part is called as mediastinum testis. Suppose that, where is your heart located? Your heart is located in the mediastinal part. This is our mediastinal part. Your heart is located in between the two lungs. In between the two lungs. So it is a mediastinum. So similarly, your seminiferous tubules, they collect at a place, and all those 750 in each if we consider, then all those seminiferous tubules collect at a position, and that central position is called as mediastinum testis. And in that mediastinum testis, all the seminiferous tubules, when they are collecting, then that position or that structure is called as rete testis. Mediastinum testis is a position of the testis where all the seminiferous tubules are coming and emerging and collecting over there, and that position is called as rete testis. Now this rete testis moves outward into tube-like structures, and these tube-like structures are called as vasa efferentia. All these parts which I have told now, they all are present within the scrotum. They all are present within the scrotum. Your testicular lobule, seminiferous tubule, rete testis, vasa efferentia, they all are present within the scrotum. Vasa efferentia is near now towards the inguinal canal. These three parts were the internal part which is located in the scrotum. But vasa efferentia is towards now the inguinal canal. Slowly, the parts of testis are moving towards the internal abdominal cavity. Now, all these parts we will be understanding through the diagram, so that the position, the structure and the parts are very much clear to you all. So here you can see that I have drawn the diagram of the testis. Now we are moving, this was the wall of the testis, now we are moving to the internal part. Now these small tube-like structures, these black color boundary structures, these small tube-like structures are called as testicular lobules. I have drawn 3 lobules. Similarly, in this manner, 250 small lobules are present inside each testis. So testicular lobules are present within the testis. Now you can see with red color I have drawn the structure, a highly coiled tube-like structure. These are highly coiled tube-like structure. These coiled tube-like structure in red color, they are seminiferous tubules. I have drawn 3, 1, 2 and 3. 3 seminiferous tubules have been shown in each of the lobule. So 2 to 3 in number seminiferous tubules are present here, and these seminiferous tubules are responsible for the production of the sperms. In the later part, we will be understanding that how the sperms are being produced here and what is the pathway which is adopted by the sperms to move into the male external genitalial part. So your 250 small compartments called as testicular lobule, each testicular lobule having 2 to 3 seminiferous tubule. Then I told you in the theory part that these seminiferous tubule, they emerge out, they go out, they come out from the testicular lobule and they collect in the central part of the testis. This central part of the testis is called mediastinum testis, and in this mediastinum testis, all these coiled structures, they are coming and opening over here. They are meeting in this place. So this meeting, this junction or the connection of all the seminiferous tubule in the mediastinal testis is called as rete testis. Is called as rete testis. Now this rete testis, from here all the seminiferous tubules, all the tubes, they will be emerging out in fine tube-like structures, and these tube-like structures are called as vasa efferentia. And this vasa efferentia will be moving into this part which I have shown in green color, and this part is called as epididymis. So this one is your testicular lobule. Within testicular lobule, seminiferous tubules are located. Seminiferous tubules are meeting at a junction called as rete testis. Rete testis is opening into vasa efferentia. Vasa efferentia will open into vasa differentia. Epididymis. Epididymis will be opening into vasa differentia, and vasa differentia will be opening into urethra. I'll show the pathway also, that how the sperms produced inside the seminiferous tubule will be passing through the male reproductive system. So children, just now we have discussed the parts in this diagram, and I have told you that your sperms are produced within this seminiferous tubules. So this is the pathway through which your sperms are going to flow through the male reproductive system. How the sperms are produced, we will be studying in the later parts of the videos. But here, for your understanding that how this whole system is working, so here your flow chart has been mentioned to explain the pathway of the sperms. Now, by the parts you can understand that sperms produced in the seminiferous tubules. Sperms will be produced here in the seminiferous tubules. Now the sperms from seminiferous tubules will move into rete testis. From rete testis, it will move into vasa efferentia. From vasa efferentia, it will be moving into epididymis. From epididymis, the sperms will move into vas differentia. Always remember, D will come after E. Vasa efferentia is before and vasa differentia is afterward. So from epididymis, the sperms will move into vasa differentia. From vasa differentia, it will be moving into urinogenital duct, urethra, and from there through the penis, that is your genitalial part, it will be inseminated into the female reproductive system. So this is the pathway through which your sperm is going to travel inside the body of male reproductive system. Diagrammatically, again I will be explaining it, that sperms are produced here in the seminiferous tubule. From seminiferous tubule, sperms will be moving into rete testis. From rete testis, sperms will be moving into vas efferentia. From vas efferentia, sperm will be moving into epididymis. Then from epididymis, it will be moving into the urinogenital duct. From urinogenital duct to the external genitalia. Hope testis whole complete explanation is clear to you all. All the structures, all the parts have been explained in detail to you so that no confusion is left over in your mind. and the pathway of the sperm has also been shown, so that you may understand that how the sperm being produced inside the seminiferous tubule is passing through the whole male reproductive system. Thank you.